Hey guys, we're back with Shop Talk. I'm Dominic Riffle.
I'm Bryce Blanco.
And I'm Kyler Sosi.
Today we'll be going over 2019's Maleficent 2. So, what'd you guys think?
I really liked the movie. I really did. I watched it more than anybody here.
Do you want to jump straight to the ending?
I'm not jumping to the ending because I like it. Because
I was listening
for
to
all
that
you
too.
people out here, I like the ending on this one.
All right. So,
Yeah.
well then I guess we'll start at the beginning.
That's probably the same for me. I like the ending. I don't like the beginning though.
Yeah. So the cast is Angelina Jolie as Maleficent. We have Ellie Fanning as Aurora, Michelle Pfeiffer as Queen Ingrid. And Sam Riley. We have, I can't say that guy's name.
Chiwetel
Yeah, that guy.
E4.
E4.
I don't know if that's right, but I shot my chances.
And Harrison Dickinson as Prince Philip.
Ed Screen. I think that's how you say his name.
Ed Screen.
Sam Riley.
Sam Riley, yeah.
Yeah.
And then our director, I'm going to destroy this guy's name, Joachim Roning.
Roning.
Joachim Roning. That's how you say it in Norwegian. I don't think that was a Norwegian accent.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Should probably take another stab at it.
But that's right.
Either way, that he directed it. So the budget for the movie was about $185 million. It made in the box office $491.1 million, which pretty successful run, I guess.
Because it had a good ending.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, it's sitting at 40% on Rotten Tomatoes with the audience score of 95%. See, so the
Had a
fans
good
liked
ending.
it.
See, people like me liked it.
Why are you?
Wait, you said the Rotten Tomatoes is 90%?
40%.
Oh, 40%.
The audience
Oh,
score
okay.
is 95, and then
Let's just-
Metacritic's at 43. So
Let's just be honest. Who cares about the critics?
True. I don't know. Sometimes I agree with them, and sometimes I don't. And I'm clearly not a critic, but sometimes I think they're spot on, and sometimes they're way off.
I feel like a lot of times the critics miss the entertainment part in movies.
And I think they're looking a lot more for like the lighting and like the dialogue and
The tension build up.
I think they're looking at the professional aspect of it.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
opposed
Like they
to
look at it
an
and they're like,
entertaining movie.
and the way, and I think this is why a lot of times I don't agree with a lot of critics is because I look for something that's just enjoyable. I don't really care if there's gonna be a sequel to it. I just look to see, am I gonna enjoy the film?
Well, so with this one, did you watch the original one?
Are we talking about like the cartoon or the?
No, Maleficent, because there is no cartoon for it.
Well, she's tied in the cartoon. But,
Well, yeah, to Sleeping Beauty.
but that's technically who Aurora
No,
is.
the original Maleficent.
I'm just trying to get what you're saying, okay? God damn.
Did you watch Maleficent?
I did. That one I watched, I think briefly. I didn't really put too much thought into it when I watched it. It was just something that was on TV at the time.
I watched it. I don't really remember it. Not that it was bad.
And I think I don't really...
It was such a long time ago. I think that movie came out
in
2014?
15, I think.
Yeah, it's 2014.
14, that's it, yeah.
Good for you, Kyler.
I remember that fact when I was Googling this movie today.
Oh, when you were writing your notes 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, just 5 minutes ago.
Anyway, yeah, so that's a little bit about the movie. Anyway, so we know that Bryce liked the movie. What about you? How do you feel?
I'm kind of conflicted with this movie. I did not watch the first one. I watched a recap of it, just a recap on the video, just going over what it was saying. And basically, I was on board with what the lady in the recap video was saying, is that we didn't really need
A second one?
a second one. So I was kind of skeptical going into this one. It was fun. I love the CGI. It was pretty. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was on point.
I love the colors and I love the world. I feel like it kind of reminded me of some other movies, but I think I'll kind of dive into that later on.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think it's kind of funny how Disney made this movie about the villain, and it's more popular than the actual movie. Like, it's more popular than Sleeping Beauty. Like,
because everyone likes a good villain.
Yeah. Well, I really like how they made the villain. They gave a lot more depth to the villain and gave her character more of a backstory, so we could see why she is the way she is and how she is. You know what I mean? And I think that was a pretty cool aspect that Disney did, and I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
I thought it was really cool. I thought I liked because I never knew what she was. I just thought she was just this winged creature,
the
dark fae, the dark fae. And then the scene I really liked was when she finds out that she's not alone, and she finds out that there's more of her. Well, she's technically alone because she's the direct descendant to the Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
But I thought it was cool how they had just this like
group of them.
Yeah, but they had different like climates to where they could survive. You know, like they had the tundra, the jungle, the forest. I
like that part of it, but then I felt like it kind of took away from her. Like
that's what
her character. Like I thought she was more mysterious because she was the only one.
See, and I think that's back to where she had the direct bloodline to the most badass one. Yeah, I think that's where they drew it back because it did take away.
But then, like, they weren't even that far away. Like, how did she not know that they were there?
That was the one part. Like, when they were attacking the Moor, and she flies back, I was like, well, how did you not know these people were around you? You know,
this movie was called Maleficent, and I just felt like she wasn't the main character in this movie.
She really wasn't. She took a back seat.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ellie Fanning was the main character in this movie. You know, because that was kind of the tension.
But it was just like. But I think that was like a director's choice. Honestly, I think what they were trying to do is come up with like this kind of message, because the whole time the movie's focusing on combining these two worlds. You know what I mean? So I think that's why they kind of took a backseat to her. And
I just think that they tried to put too much in there. Like there was a little bit too many stories going on. Yeah, well, it wasn't drawn out. It was just like there was too many stories. And then like, how are you going to call Maleficent Mistress of Evil? And then
she's not really evil.
She's not evil. And then and then she took a backseat. Like she was gone for what, like
half of the movie.
Yeah, more than half the movie. She wasn't even in it, which sucks for Angelina Jolie because she was born to play this.
She was amazing in this role. Yeah, I haven't seen the first one, but like I'm fully convinced that she's perfect for the role.
She's a weird person. It's just that like this is her right up her alley. Like not to say that anything else, but she's just a weird person. Like, I
love her humor in this one though. It's hilarious. Like she's so.
Well, I watched in the like bonus features on there, they have this thing about her on there, and I like that she had a lot of input in her character. Like obviously the wings are CGI, but when they would show her,
those are real.
This is fucking real.
Yeah, they move naturally too.
They move naturally. But anyway, she was talking about in it how they would show her like a little preview of what the scene would be like, and she'd be like, no, well, I think her wings would move this way because of the emotion that she was showing. And one part of that was when she goes to dinner, when she's meeting the in-laws, and she walks in and they sit down, and she makes her wings stand up like real high. And like Angelina Jolie was, and she was like, it was her way of letting her presence be known. Not like anybody's gonna miss her with the big ass horns walking in the room, but I mean, I thought that was cool how the wings kind of
covered up at that time.
They were covered up, but I mean,
I would have told, if I was the director, I would have told Angela, what the fuck do you know about how wings work?
You just said she was a bird. You just said she was born to be Maleficent. You can't say that, man.
That was she
played a great role.
Yeah,
but
she was on point.
She did. I think
that was actually my favorite scene. Was the dinner scene.
The dinner scene, especially when she like when the cat jumps out to get the bird.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Control animal." Yeah, I was like, God damn. But she scared me.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how much shade they were throwing on her at that dinner.
I know.
Yeah. Michelle Pfeiffer was just going in, man. She was.
Tell me she didn't look super aged in this film too.
What? Really? I thought she looked fantastic, dude. Really? Michelle Pfeiffer is hot. She's hot, bro.
Who watches this podcast again? Who listens to them? Is it your wife listening?
This is a family podcast.
I think I've told my. You just said fuck a little while ago. This is a family podcast.
My bad.
I think I've told my wife that she's smoking hot. She knows. She is though. For like I thought she looked great for her age.
Well, I think
she was a good bad guy. She was a good bad guy.
No, she was, but I think they just like aged her in this film. Like they just made her look a lot older.
The only thing that I was
think
thinking in
she
this,
looks
in
that
this,
age.
yeah, the only thing I was thinking about in that scene was just like, damn, this bitch wants to get hurt because she was throwing like a bunch of digs to her.
Yeah,
you know?
this chick is ballsy, man. Like I wouldn't. If I was a bad guy and
That's
like
the
I'm
last
not on the
person
tier. I'm not on the tier of bad guys. The same
Yeah.
tier of bad guys you are. Okay, like I'm not gonna throw some shade at Maleficent, especially when she just has gonna do all kinds of weird gas powers out of her fingers and shit.
And then I thought the crazy thing was, like, they knew that iron was her weakness, and they put like everything iron setting on the table, and so she touches it, and she's like,
and then she told her to eat with her fucking
she's like,
hands.
You should be comfortable eating with your hands, right? I was like, damn. And then talk about the worst acting of the whole movie when Maleficent's had enough, and she like throws her wings out at the dinner, and she's like, there won't be any connection or anything, and the wife's like, I'm so scared.
Oh yeah,
I was like, is this not like the biggest faking scene you've ever seen? And then she's got the little ice pick behind him.
Oh yeah,
she was in jail
She
before.
stabbed
She
him
shipped
up.
him a little bit.
I thought I was looking at that part too, and like I felt like she had done something when I was watching it the first time. I was like, man, this bitch is doing something else shady.
Because if you watch the film,
I thought she poisoned him though.
Yeah, see, I thought it was in a drink.
Yeah,
I thought she had poisoned it. I knew there had to be some kind of poisoning, but I just thought it was so weird that she was like, I'm so frightened.
I'm so frightened.
But this whole time she's staring her down like, oh, your iron hurts you? Like, just like throwing shade at her, but then you're frightened because her wings come out.
You know who I actually wasn't a fan of in this movie was Ellie Fanning. Like,
I didn't care.
Aurora,
Yeah, I thought
I didn't think her. I don't know. I don't think she did that great of a job.
Or you don't think like she should have been like the main actor?
That too.
Yeah,
or the main actress.
She just didn't bring it.
I mean, for Sleeping Beauty, she's not real. I don't think she's that good looking.
Okay, I didn't want to be the first one to say it, but since you said it
Yeah,
first,
I'm gonna agree with you. If you
But-
ever listen to this, I'm sorry. I doubt you ever will. But
you know, out in Gallup, New Mexico, we just don't.
and maybe she is good looking
in other settings.
And yeah, like in normal life. I don't know. I've never seen her, but she just wasn't. I don't find her all that attractive for being Sleeping Beauty. So I don't know. It's just.
I mean, I don't know. She just like she came off like a flower child to me, but just not. She didn't bring it to me like the character. You know what I mean? That part I agree with you. I really didn't.
Do you know what this story reminded me of when I was watching it? It reminded me so much of. Have you seen Shrek 2? I'm pretty sure everyone's seen Shrek 2. That was like, it felt so much like it.
It felt like Shrek 2.
Like the story of it.
I don't think that's what they were going for.
I know, but it just felt like it. Like the parents didn't want them to be
together. I can see that, yeah.
So like, the parent or one of the parents was trying.
So you're saying the more
to,
serious version of Shrek?
Basically.
I can run with it.
But this movie was like visually. This movie was pretty cool. Like
it was pretty awesome.
The creature design was pretty on point. I liked it. I heard I read some stuff. People were kind of upset with the creature, like the designs for the creatures, but I thought they were on point, man. Like they had some pretty cool, like those trees. Those were really cool. The group.
Yeah, I thought the trees. I thought they had like. I thought they had some really cool aspects as far as like the more being this mystical forest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought they did do some things justice. The little fairy godmothers kind of bugged me a little bit.
They bugged you? They were probably
one of my
favorites in that.
Annoying.
I think it was just because they were just like, oh, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, like I really like the little hedgehog Pinto.
Oh, yeah, he reminds me of Babu Frick in this
the Hedgehog. They put Sonic in a Disney movie.
The brown version.
The thing is, like, I don't understand from the last movie. Wasn't her original kingdom right next to the forest?
Yeah, it was.
Now there's this other castle right next to the forest, and it's literally across the river. So that confused me.
Yeah, I didn't see the first one, but I was like, isn't it? They have a factor in their first movie at least,
Well,
but
they had a small reference to it, and all they said was because she never believed that kingdom was her real home.
Well,
so she gave that to the people.
Well, no, I get that part, but like, where was it at?
No, I think that's why they were just trying to like just give a brief discussion of it.
Like, is it on the other side of the forest?
Yeah. I mean, and I guess
Just felt like it was right next door.
yeah,
That's what it felt like.
but I mean, I think you really think about it, as far as like kingdoms, if you go back in time, I mean, no kingdom was like really close. I guess it could have been on the other side of the forest. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, and then so after that dinner, when that Michelle Pfeiffer's little hench woman
Shoots her.
shoots her.
Mm-hmm.
That chick is gangster, dude.
Dude,
She
she
has big
was
ol'
like-
ass eyes.
Yeah.
And she's like,
She freaking walks up there with that big ass crossbow, and she's just like,
Just
shoots
one
that
shot.
tiny
Just
little
one
bullet.
shot.
like
out
she's
of
gonna
that.
see that freaking.
Yeah.
She didn't
Large
count
ass ball.
for the storm. She didn't count for anything. It's just one
It's like
shot.
zero wind.
Well, it just
100%
tripped me out,
accuracy.
someone as powerful as Maleficent, and I guess steel is her kryptonite, but like
Iron.
It's iron.
iron,
Yeah.
iron. Yeah, my bad. It just that little bullet took her ass down.
I do agree with you on that because I was like, all right, if it hits her, I'm sure it's gonna wound her, and
That's
but I wasn't
thought,
expecting
too.
just.
I wasn't
just a
expecting her to
nose
free
dive.
Yeah,
fall
like
down.
she almost died.
Yeah.
And then she got shot. What, like in the butt cheek or something?
I
thought she got
it
shot
was
in
like
the
through
back.
the
It was like
through the back and
into
through the stomach or something.
I don't know. I'm just gonna pretend it was the butt cheek.
Okay, let's just pretend.
It was the butt cheek.
That would have been really effective, man.
Well, and then she wakes up in that weird nest thing.
Yeah.
Right? And
But did you?
I thought that was pretty
did you like
cool.
that? Yeah, I was gonna say I like the
thought that
whole
was like
concept of
like
like
a cool scene.
the nest, like I guess haven type thing. What did you think?
Yep. I mean, yeah, it was cool. I liked it. I thought that when I first seen that dude, what's his name?
Canal.
So when he came in and saved her, I thought he was gonna be like the only one. I didn't realize it was gonna be like an entire
Yeah,
race,
see, and I
tribe of them.
never watched this in theaters, so literally the first time I watched it was like a week ago. But I was kind of thinking the same thing. I thought it was just gonna be like this one person, and I thought he was gonna be just as powerful as she
Yeah,
was.
so did I. That's what kind of I was like, oh, she's gonna find love, but she didn't.
So was she the one? So I was kind of confused watching it. Was she the one that in the beginning of the movie was
That killed those people.
that killed those people?
That's what
Is that
I
her?
kind of.
So-
I was kind of thinking after
It looks like
I watched it the second time. That's what I was kind of thinking. I was like, maybe that was that dude instead of.
But
because they never
how does
show
he
it.
have magical powers?
But if you watch
Oh,
the
yeah,
scene,
that's true.
but if you watch the scene when they go back to the forest when they're digging up the dead, the graves, remember that part? And the guy that saved her from the ocean, he takes like the bullet for her, and they bring him back to their little haven, and they do like their little practice.
The Black Panther thing on him.
Yeah. But I'm the sound effects guy, man. Don't look at me like that.
Sorry,
But so that made me wonder if they all maybe don't have as much power as she does, but they all have something that connects them.
Well,
that's what they were talking about, right? They were saying that we can finally win because we have her.
Yeah.
And then like
They
because
weren't
she has
accounting
this.
for her, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you watch that scene, it kind of looks like the guy. I think it's Bora. I think he's the one that looks like he's got the crazy face, but he's one of the dark fae.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
the one that she has like all the.
He's the one that kind of like
Yeah.
confronts her in that little meeting.
Yeah. He's the one that's against the leader, kind of.
Yeah, and he's telling him we need to kill like the humans now.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like in that scene, it looked like his face, like just the eyes right there. It looked like it could have been him, because when you look at Angelina Jolie's character, there's like no like disconfiguration on her face other than the cheekbones.
Her fucking creepy ass cheekbones.
But okay, she doesn't have like scales or shit on her face.
That guy just didn't use a lot of lotion.
So you're just saying he was ashy?
He was
just
ashy.
He wasn't classy.
I don't
He
know.
was all cheesy.
I don't know. Well,
I think you gotta translate that, Bryce.
If you don't know, that means dried out in Navajo.
you're a cheesy worm.
Don't be bringing back the old shit, Cody.
But so then after, what kind of threw me off too, after they had that dinner, and they keep blaming Maleficent for, well, she cursed him again. The mom, Michelle Pfeiffer, was pretty much like the lead on that. Was like, oh no. But man, the daughter turns against her mom quick as shit, right?
Oh,
like she's just like,
After
nope.
I'm like, there's no loyalty. I'm like, dang, if that was my mom, I'd be like, all right, dude, we can't get married. Sorry, later. I'm going to the dark side. About to curse this whole village.
It tripped me out. She turned
just
on
real
her
quick,
mom
and she was
yeah.
like, bring him back. And I was like, damn.
She's like, bitch, how am I gonna bring him back? I didn't do nothing.
And I thought that was the other weird thing because I felt like, and I guess as a character, that's how she was supposed to act, but she really didn't do anything in the room other than like when she expanded her wings and knocked out all the candles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait. So in the movie, did you guys see her like shiv the king? Basically, because I missed that part. I completely missed that.
Don't do that motion again.
I know.
No,
I
you
don't
do.
Think, I think you can. I didn't see it in the.
See, no, I didn't see it. I think I was
the
looking
movie.
at
Well, so what happens is you can't see because that's the part I went back and looked at. You can't see it in the original scene because of the angle that she stands behind him, but later on when Aurora figures out that the mom did everything because she has the little ice pick down in her lair where she twists the neck on the mannequin.
I know,
but it goes back because she's about to touch it and she has some kind of like vision or something. I don't know, and it shows the mom when Maleficent stood up like that.
Yeah.
In the the intensity of the moment, everyone's kind of freaked out. She just jabs him real quick, like 3 times, ice picking like she was in prison.
she's like the ice man.
Dude, for real, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was.
It shows
You
it,
guys were
but you have
saying it.
to.
I was like, oh shoot, did I miss that part? But
And then the part that I was laughing is the kiss between the king and the queen where they're they get that idea. They're like, oh.
True
love's kiss.
And she's
like, Mom, kiss her. Or he's like, Mom, kiss her.
She's
kiss
like,
him. And she's like,
it's just
I
a
don't,
kiss. It's
I
not
don't
gonna
think that's gonna work.
It's just a kiss.
And
then she dude, how about when she kneels down and she's like, hope you sleep, talking all kinds of shit.
Yeah,
like,
hope you choke on your own space.
like she goes in. I'm like, how did nobody hear this part?
Yeah,
she's like right next to him. She's like, I hope you die,
and then
but sleep tight.
I feel like she said it loud enough for everyone to hear.
And everyone's like, oh, it's a deeper curse. Like, damn, yeah.
Your cereal.
And she kisses him, and then it's
like, hope you felt that prick.
I don't know. That part cracked me up.
How did you like her character as a whole, the mom? Like,
the mom? I thought
like playing the whole like, I'm on your side, but she's like secretly sabotaging everybody.
I mean, for sure, she was a fucking bitch.
Dude, she
like for real, like she's a shitty mom. Can you imagine having her as your mother-in-law? That would suck.
Damn,
but
for real.
Her character, I felt like it was kind of one-dimensional. Like we didn't get
there was no depth to her other than she was
it was
evil.
just like she was evil. She just wanted war, basically.
That's it. Like the movie overall, like it was a good movie. I liked it. I don't think you're gonna get anything real in depth out of it.
I don't think it was meant to do that other than
to
just
it's
be a filler,
like, surface type movie. Like
it was just meant to like fill. Like that's all I felt like. It was just
feel like a time period in Disney's movies.
Yeah, I think Disney's not stupid. They're just trying to make money in every aspect that they can. I mean, look at everything they're remaking. Stuff that we watched as kids. You're going to go watch it again as an adult because you're like, oh my God, they remade it. They're smart when they do these things. I mean, like you said, look, what did it do in the box office?
49 million, I think.
I mean,
it did pretty good.
It did pretty good. So, I mean, they got
How much did they
180 million was the budget.
Oh, so they lost money.
No, 189 was and they made 400.
Oh, 400. Okay, they said 49 mil.
No, they did. I mean, it made.
They made a profit off.
Yeah,
so
I think they hit what they were supposed to. I mean,
it was a good movie. I just didn't. I don't like the characters. It was just kind of all over the place. Like there was too many stories that they were trying to tell. I feel like, and then they left Maleficent out, which I thought was super strange. Like the movie's based on her, and
they left Maleficent
out
on
the whole time.
They called it the Mistress of Evil.
I want more.
You wanted to
Angelina Jolie,
yeah,
like she was freaking great.
I either wanted to see her be this like evil character that she's always portrayed as, or I just wanted her to save the day. But it just like took this long period of like, you can see like when they go back to like the different climates and they show the different dark fae and stuff like that, where she's conflicted. Like, I get it, I raised this human being, but she disowned me. Should I just go against them and destroy everyone? Because she could, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
but it would have been nice to have like more of her I think more of like seeing her having that conflicting issue where she doesn't know whether she wants to just be completely evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I like the whole like good angel, bad angel between that Canal and Bora.
Yeah.
Or like Canal was like the whole time he's like, you don't have to be evil.
They just weren't on the same page
Yeah.
as two. Yeah.
He was like, you've proven that we can coexist. You raised a human being. You know what I mean? I thought that was cool. But then I liked how the other guy was like, they don't deserve this. They just coexist on this world. We should end them now.
Yeah. I don't. I
I
kind
feel
of
like
wish
it was
they
mostly
should.
like Maleficent was trying to pick a side. It was
Yeah.
kind of like her conflicting with her bad and evil side. And it was called Mistress of Evil, but it didn't really seem that evil.
Well, and that's like I feel like the whole Disney thing. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna make her, which sucks because she's supposed to be the bad guy. You know what I mean? And it would have been fine if like they painted a picture of her, like kind of like they did in the first one. Like you see why she went evil.
Yeah,
but
where
she's
everyone's
evil,
betrayed her. You know what I mean?
And but then they like almost redeem her. Like she's not evil. She's a good person. She's just misunderstood. They're like, no, hell no, man. I want this villain to be a bad guy. I want her to wreak havoc and blow shit up and kill people and eat babies and all that stuff.
I like the character twist. I really did.
And
I think it's just because I like the concept of the dark face so much that I was like, oh, this is a cool twist. I mean, something that I wasn't expecting to see. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I don't know. I think she should have kept with the story and been evil. You know what I mean? Like, because she's not a bad guy.
But if you look back to that scene where they're actually at war, and Michelle Pfeiffer's on the rooftop with the Ella, and they're talking, and she's like, "It doesn't matter if it was her who saved you. People will always believe she's a monster, even though she's not. They'll always believe she's a monster, and I'll make it sure that it's that way."
Well, she's the one that was spreading, like...
She's the one that made it, yeah.
Yeah, she's the one that... She's pretty much said that she was the one that spread all the rumors about her being evil and all that stuff like that.
And
I was like, damn.
Well, then...
That was a dick move, man.
And then that part where they're both on the rooftop, Angelina Jolie and Michelle Pfeiffer, and she's like, "You're so predictable. It's like no wonder why you play into being the villain. You're more predictable than humans."
Yeah, when she was pretty predictable herself.
Yeah.
She had that whole, like, underground weapon.
That was crazy, right? Like, how did they not know?
Yeah.
Like, how did someone not hear that tink, tink all night? And fires burning and shit.
Her little fairy that she had down there working. With this big...
I know. It's like, I'm not a fairy. He gets, like, totally insulted by the whole thing. He's like, what did he say? He's like, I'm some kind of, like, gentleman or something like that.
Oh, he's a nobleman.
Yeah, he's like, I
am a nobleman.
I am not a fairy. The dude looks totally like a fairy. He kind of, like, reminded me of Rumpelstiltskin, man. Like, did you see... And I don't know if this is just Disney being Disney, but if you looked in that, in one room that they open up in that scene, there's like a little thing that you can spin for spool, like Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, is this Rumpelstiltskin? Or
well,
is it
you know where the spinning wheel came from, right?
No.
That's how Sleeping Beauty fell into her sleep. She pokes her finger on the spinning wheel.
Oh, I know, but I thought, because that's when she has her vision on that part. But I was just, when they showed him right away, I was like, it's kind of weird. It kind of looks like Rumpelstiltskin to begin with. I was like, is it him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and then, I mean, you remember the scene where she starts playing that organ? Her henchwoman? The one with the big
thing starts popping out.
That scene lasted forever. Like, she was just going to town on that organ.
I feel like she should have done a lot more in this little battle, but except play an organ.
and it just lasted forever. I was like, Jesus, is this scene gonna fucking end? Like, why?
I think all of them should have been dead by now.
And then they trapped all the... Remember, she gets on that big megaphone.
Yeah, and she's like, everyone's invited to the wedding.
And you better fucking come.
And I was like, oh, that doesn't sound threatening at all.
Yeah, well, and then, like, so they all go, and they go into the little chapel, and they're all sitting on one side, because they think they're there for a wedding and everything. And in reality, they're there for
a massacre.
It's a trap.
Yeah, they're trying to kill them all.
And I'm thinking, like, dang, didn't she put out that everybody should be there? I'm like, how does this entire forest
fit right
where,
there?
where the hell are the rest of all these fairies at? You know what I mean? Like, that is not a lot of fairies out there. Like, I was like, there's just not a lot of fairies out there, I guess.
Maybe there were some smart people and were like, hey, they're already picking us off. I'm not going to go die.
And I think we're far enough in now to discussing this movie to where we can get to the real theme and real point to this fucking story. How about the fucking goddamn genocide that this entire movie is based on?
I know.
They're trying to wipe out an entire race, multiple races of fairies and shit. Like,
it was crazy.
What the fuck,
that
Disney?
Like,
you hear it like
okay, I thought
goddamn. They're bringing them in. They're bringing them into the church
to literally
kill them. To gas them
yeah.
like a fucking concentration camp.
Lord, I didn't think of it like that, but
no,
that's pretty dark now that you say it like that.
Like, okay, I thought I was the only one that thought that. I was like, dang, this is crazy that this is a Disney film. But the whole time you're looking at it, it's like they're literally trying to kill off an entire species.
Yeah, dude, it's genocide. Like,
and not just one species, multiple species. Like, they're just like, hey, let's kill them off.
It's a movie that has racism in it, genocide,
hate,
mass murder, hate.
Yep. Well,
this is a dark fucking movie.
Well, and that's where I go back to, like, I think it was on the director, because it's like the hidden message about, like, society in general, the hate between people. Like,
yeah, but I mean,
but you weren't expecting to see that in a Disney film, you know? I mean,
there's that one. What is it? The one with all the animals. That movie that came out as like a cartoon movie with all the animals.
Bambi.
Huh?
I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Here,
Bambi.
look it up.
Lady and Tramp.
Zootopia.
Yeah,
that movie.
That's kind of like bringing people together.
Yeah,
thing, but it's also touches on racism as well.
Yeah, it's like racism, but like speciesism. You know, like where the race.
But that's kind of what this.
That's kind of
this is kind of what this film went against. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
And it goes back to that whole thing. Like, people are afraid of being different. Anything that is not, normal. I guess, the sense of normal, people are against because it's frightening. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what this film touched on was, okay, if you're afraid of something, it's not okay. Take it away. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I felt like it was going. And I think they hit it on the nail on that aspect of it.
I was just kind of like I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, this is fucking genocide.
It sounds dark now that I see that.
Like, I think
I'm pretty shocked that nobody else has picked that up.
That's like the first thing I thought of. That's like the first thing I thought of when I watched this film. I was like, dang, like they're just gonna kill everybody. Like, straight up. And like the thought of it was that they really kind of had this war tactic. If we kill the general, we get everybody else. You know what I mean? They figured if they killed Angelina Jolie, who's going to protect these people?
Well, they thought she was dead, though, until she came back.
And that's why the whole come to the church. And that makes me think, do you think they were going to kill Aurora as well?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
definitely.
Do you think because she was like, in that one scene where she is talking to Aurora after she's killed Angelina Jolie, she's like, you may think I'm evil, but I do this anytime for my kingdom, for my son. And it's like, dang, this lady's she's kind of screw loose, man. She's out of it.
I think, I don't know if they would have killed her. I think that they would have killed her if she didn't fall in line, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
and I think she was hitting
went either way.
I think she was hitting the breaking point in her character where she wasn't going to fit in, like, and she wasn't going to fall in line.
Yeah.
Especially in that scene, like, when they're getting ready for the wedding and the mom has her dressed exactly like her and all this, like, iron and everything else. She's like, this isn't me.
That mom throws mad shade. Remember when she came out in her dress? And
she
like,
bows her?
Yeah, she's like, this is what I wore on my wedding day.
She's like, take that off. That's ugly as hell.
She's like, the fairies made it. And she's like, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. She's like, I'm sure it's perfect. She goes, it is. You're like, damn. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm wearing this. It doesn't matter what
I was just hoping or just waiting for the scene for the mom to die. I felt like
turned into a goat. That was pretty cool.
Well, and then,
but that's kind of justice served, though.
the Disney way. You don't kill. Make him a goat.
Make him a goat. That was a weird scene.
Yeah, that was.
The dad was just like, when the king came back, like, he was just, yeah, we'll change her if we need her. Like, he was just totally okay with the fact that his wife's a goat. Well, I guess she did try to.
She shanked him.
Murder it. I was gonna say she tried to stab him. No, she fucking stabbed him.
She shanked him.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would make my wife a goat too if she tried to kill me.
I mean, If the shoe fits, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then it's weird too because all of a sudden everybody goes from like this big old war to like everybody's just best friends.
Happy.
Yeah, I didn't like that aspect of it because I feel like, okay, if I found out you were trying to kill me, I'm not gonna like you. I'm probably not gonna trust you. You know what I mean?
Well, then they turned all of a lot of her friends, a lot of those fairies and stuff got turned back into like flowers and stuff because that powder that she
Yeah, because when they put that powder on you, they
turn
kills
back
them.
into it turns them back into like regular trees or regular flowers or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And then like all her Groots are gone, man.
Was it all of them?
I
just saw
no,
one.
It wasn't all of them. They only got one
Oh.
or two. I didn't think they got all of them,
And then like one fairy.
but the thing I didn't
Well,
understand
she
is
sacrificed herself.
Yeah.
the thing I didn't
blue
understand.
one?
The thing I didn't understand is like I don't know, and I guess this is like back to what we always say, the Disney way, like Disneyfying things. Like
Disneyfying things.
I would not want to be around somebody, even if you had nothing to do with it. If like your mom just killed off like all these people that I associate with them, I'm gonna be hateful. It's gonna take time for me just to be like, okay, it's not your fault. You know what I mean? Because I think that's just human nature to be upset. And this
You're gonna have
is
to
just
have like a day like of remembrance, like gone but not forgotten.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably plotting how I'm gonna get you back.
Well, that's the thing. That's what it tripped me out because everybody's just like best friends after. I'm like, Jesus Christ. A little while ago, they just tried to genocide your entire. You know what I mean? They just threw a genocide at you.
You wanted us dead, but we're friends now.
And
I
they
feel like
yeah, and then
for
they
Disney-
don't even wait to have the wedding. They have it in the middle of the war.
The
There's
war.
like dead
Yeah.
people all over the place and shit.
just
powder.
move them over
It
the
was like-
side.
It was
We'll
like
continue
Avengers
studying.
came through. There wasn't dead people. It was just powder.
And then Aurora's been up to something funky because she wasn't wearing white on her wedding day.
I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that girl she had all kind of colors on. She was walking down the aisle and her dress is turning different colors. I was like, turned every color but white.
She had a mood dress
Philip,
instead of a mood ring.
Philip, you better check that shit out. It's like
Is she worthy?
it's like Ace Ventura. Remember that part in Ace Ventura where the princess of that tribe goes in to get with that little guy,
Yeah.
and he comes out and he starts saying stuff in that his whatever
yeah,
language.
yeah,
and
yeah.
he's, she's not a virgin. And then Ace just books it out of there. That's what I was thinking.
You're
when I
waiting
seen
for
that.
some fairy to take off flying?
Yeah.
We just took a family movie and just butchered it.
Oh yeah, I know.
Just put our own
If you're
aspect in
watching,
there.
please be mature. A little late into this, but
I don't know. I think the movie was it was a good movie. It just I don't think it had a whole lot of
like depth to it.
depth to it. Yeah, like I don't think it was a good entertaining movie. Like I'd let my kids watch it and they'd probably enjoy it. But I just don't think like if you were looking for some kind of deep meaning in it, I don't think you're gonna get anything out of it other than, some genocide.
What would you say? Okay, what would you say your favorite part of the movie was, and what would you say was like the worst part of the movie for you?
So my favorite part, like I said before, was the dinner scene where they sit down to have dinner because just the banter back and forth between Angelina Jolie and Michelle Pfeiffer. Like I could watch that shit all day.
That
Like,
was pretty
everybody's going
dope.
back and forth, and like I said, Michelle Pfeiffer, man, she's fucking. She's
played
ballsy.
a great main role.
Yeah, she was ballsy. I wouldn't be saying that to her, but and then I mean Angelina Jolie's firing right back though, and so that was my favorite part. I think that was the best part of the movie. But worst part, I would say probably the war. I think the war was
The ending scene?
yeah. The ending scene was kind of I don't know. There's
It's like we could have done without the genocide.
No, I mean, I guess the genocide had to be part of the movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and I mean, I guess I'm pretty sure that's not what they were going for. Like, oh, let's make a scene full of genocide. You know what I mean? It's just like when you look at it, you take a step back, you're like, technically, that's genocide, homie. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know because there was the whole part of the movie where Angelina Jolie was like not there. Like the scenes with Aurora and Philip and all that.
And their conflict kind of story that was
yeah,
going on.
yeah, that they were. I don't know. wasn't into it. I guess. Like I mean. I don't want to say like I was watching the movie and I was like hoping it would I couldn't wait till it ended or anything, but like I just that part of it like I was kind of turned off to because like I wanted more Maleficent. Like I like her character, I like her
she needs to be more in
personality,
it.
and her humor was great.
Well, they actually had somebody that could play the character.
Yeah. I mean,
Great, you know what I mean?
Casting on her part and even Michelle Pfeiffer's part.
Yeah, they picked two great people.
Yeah, but I guess. It would have to. I think I didn't like that part more than I even didn't like the ending, and then the. I knew when they killed Maleficent, like I knew it like a mile away. I was like, oh, she's a phoenix. She's gonna come back. You know what I mean? Like Denise, when I was watching it, was just like, oh no, you know, she died. Like,
she's like, she's gonna come back.
She's
she's a phoenix. She's gonna come back.
She's gonna rise from the
ashes. Yeah, and I always thought like. Because in the cartoon, Maleficent turns into a dragon, right?
Yeah, okay, that's the part
That's
I
what
was kind of thrown off of.
I thought that was a dragon, and then I asked my girlfriend, and I was like, what was that? And she said it was a phoenix. And I was like, oh. Okay, well, now it looks more like
dragon
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, I mean, you can make a phoenix whatever you want, right? But I guess it's supposed to be a bird, but if you put wings on it, it can be whatever the fuck you want it to be.
That's true. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I think of a phoenix like Harry Potter.
Yeah, I think
That's
and
what
I
I
think
was
that's
like.
the part where like it throws us off. People that watched Harry Potter growing up,
Fuck
you
is
were like,
Dumbledore.
"Where's the wand?"
Yeah, that, like.
What about you, Kyler? What was your favorite part and least favorite part?
My favorite part was her discovering her own species in the nest thing. I like the whole fact that they have like their own like little specialties or like their own different looks that they have, and her just like the mystery, like, you know, she's supposed to be like this evil character and she's kind of looks, you know, suspicious. I like that part. My worst part of this movie, I would have to say probably the battle as well. It wasn't that entertaining. It wasn't that entertaining, you know, on the ground, but I loved the kind of fact that they when her species was coming over and flying over.
That big group of Fae was flying.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That's when kind of like it picked up.
Seeing that part started out really cool for me. Like I was like, oh, that's dope.
It's like,
and then they got there and then they
like, bam, first one. Yeah,
dude.
that's what I was thinking. I was like,
well, that didn't have the
I was kind of
effect
caught
I
off
thought
guard
it
on
would.
that part.
This is not like Normandy. I was just. They got wiped out super easy, and then they were like, "Oh shit, guys, we gotta
pull back
retreat."
already." Yeah, and then they come back with the second attack, and that wasn't even that much better. I mean, like got some ground, but those are my best and favorite scenes.
I think for me my favorite scene was when she found out that she wasn't alone. Just because I thought like it was so cool, the idea of the subspecies. When I watched the bonus features, they talked about if you watch the movie and you look at the different Fae, dark Fae, they
was there a light Fae?
That
I don't know because
white Fae?
so when they talk about this in the bonus features, one of the ladies, I can't remember who it was, she feels like the human species gave them the dark Fae, like that she doesn't believe that that's their real name, like they've just adapted to it because people have called them it for so long.
Oh,
you know what I mean? But when you're watching,
I think it's our horns as well.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. But if you really look at it, and I wouldn't have thought about this till I watched the special features. Each character, their wings were designed differently.
I did not see that.
Yeah. So I didn't know this, but when I went back and watched it, so I believe like the desert Fae, they had shorter wings because they weren't meant to fly for long periods at a time, as opposed to
so they're like chickens.
Yeah, that's really what it looked like. But when you look at them, it really does.
They fly a little.
Just need a running start.
When you look at it, though, that's how they designed every different one.
Yeah.
So every species, and then when you looked at the jungle species, like they were more colorful, but they had bigger wings because they were meant to be able to fly above the trees, but they had to be able to dive. So I like that there was this whole concept actually behind each subspecies behind it. So I thought that was cool. My least favorite scene was probably honestly, the wedding scene at the end. Not the part where the genocide
That's all that we're gonna call it now.
We're gonna call it the genocide because, like, I thought that part was kind of lame because I would think that you would think something was up when you're the only people there. Like, there was no one on the other side at all.
I don't think those people like they're not bad, so like they didn't think about it. You know
And that's a possibility, but I thought like again where you were talking about how it's so rushed in parts. Like, okay, everyone just got wiped out. Let's have a wedding. Woo! You know what I mean? I thought that part, that's probably my least favorite part.
I mean, they could have cleaned up
dead
the dead
homies.
bodies.
Yeah.
They
could have got a broom and dusted the powder off.
They're just like sitting,
Coulda
on
got
top
dead.
of the dead bodies.
Yeah.
And the
Could have called in a Deadpool to sweep some people up.
Where the hell did Deadpool get into?
you never seen the meme where like in Infinity Wars when everyone turns to dust, he's like, "Don't worry, I got it, guys. I'm cleaning up the mess," and he's got like a vacuum and he's vacuuming up all the dust from all the people. Yeah.
Well, like I feel like in a way, like them introducing more dark fae into this universe or this, it kind of humanized, like when you see the little baby fae and all that stuff like that, like it humanized.
It made you feel compassion.
No, it made me feel the opposite. Well, no, it did. It made me feel compassion, but then I was like, shit, like now I feel compassion for this person.
This person that you were supposed to see evil.
As evil, yeah. It takes away that evil element to them. You know what I mean? Which
But if you think about it,
didn't like.
But if you think about it, when you watch the first one, when she's a little girl, like she was like that at one point. You know what I mean?
But then you get her story progression, and everybody was little at one point. But like when you start seeing families of fae and little babies, and like I don't know, it just humanized it too much to where like I'm like shit. Now I can't think this chick is evil, like and I want to think she's evil. Like, that's what I want out of that character. I want that evil character.
Especially
I don't want
it's
her
in the
to be a
title.
good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, that part I didn't like. But then at the same time, I'm like, it was a cool... like you said, it was a cool concept because they introduced all those people. They really went in depth on
I feel like it
how
was...
they...
I think it was their way of being like, well, if this does well...
No, they
we
have
can
a
do it.
spin-off
Yeah,
story.
that's exactly what that's where I was. That's what I
thought.
thought it was going because it.
Now
like
they can
what you
tell
said, they made
stories about
490 something million.
I just don't feel like there's more of a story with the family and the kingdom. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think.
I think it could go off with the fake.
Well, I think that's what it'll
more.
go to. I honestly don't think it'll be if they do this spinoff, it'll be something on the Dark Fae, and maybe it'll be this like prequel to where they were this whole time while she was gone. You know what I mean? Because
I think it just gave them that option.
It gave them that option because people will go. I mean, look at us.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, and I think like the thing is, there's an origin story. You know what I mean? Because the Dark Fae had the original the Phoenix, and she was a direct bloodline. So maybe if they give this prequel of like how they came to be, you know what I mean? I guess it's a possibility. Is just what I'm saying.
I do like that idea.
I think I like that more than I like the actual, this
movie.
film that they did. I think I would have liked an origin story behind that.
I feel like when they were making the movie, they just thought like, oh, hey, we're gonna put this this group in there, and it's gonna sell the movie, Yeah. And that was probably like the best part of the movie is if they didn't introduce him, I don't think there would have been.
I wish they would have made Cody a Dark Fae. He would have been the Light Fae.
Like when I didn't see anything before the movie, like I don't even think I'd seen a trailer or anything. So when that dude comes in and saves her, like I had no idea.
You were like, "What's going on here?" I did too.
I was like sitting there watching it with Denise, and I was like, "Oh, there's another one." But at the time, I was thinking it was just that one dude.
I thought that was just one. I think that would have been cooler.
Their cousins, grandpas, and uncles, and everybody was over there too. I didn't know that, but it was a cool concept, and then the fact that they did like what you said, where there was fae from all over the world.
Yeah, like that was,
but they were all together in this one area. But how they adapted differently.
They activated it too.
Yeah. Like that was cool. It seemed
it wasn't
like
Maleficent for you.
No, it just seemed like they were trying to tell too many fucking stories in one
true.
movie, and then it took away from the actual story.
I think that's a problem Disney has a lot, though.
don't want to tell too much.
Like they don't know where they want to go, but they know they want to explain everything. Does that make sense? They think they want to start here, but then they want to add X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? And they did it with this film, and I liked it. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. I'd watch it again. I mean, I have. I watched it like 5 times already. So I guess I'm proving that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it is, like I said, it is a good movie. I think that there was just too many stories, because there was a story between Philip and Aurora and Philip's story pretty much at one point became the main story.
Yeah.
See,
which was weird because, it's a Maleficent movie.
Yeah.
It threw me off that the movie continued to go on without her. I was just like, what?
And I think
the fuck is Maleficent?
And I think the reason Disney did that, because would you go watch a film if it was just about those two?
No, fuck no.
See, that's what I'm saying. So it was like their shot to be like, hey.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's a completely different story. That's the story of Sleeping Beauty. What's her name? Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Like, if I wanted to watch Aurora,
but that's what I'm saying.
then I would have went and watched a Sleeping Beauty movie.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It was Disney's way of getting away with it without telling you, hey, you're gonna watch Sleeping Beauty.
Well, yeah, but then why didn't they just make a goddamn Sleeping Beauty movie?
That's the thing. That's the beauty behind it. They're actually probably gonna make a Sleeping Beauty movie next, and then we'll be talking about that.
After you watch the animated one, we're gonna make a sequel. But then after the sequel, we're gonna make a prequel again.
And that's I guarantee that's what's gonna happen.
I do like prequel stories, though. Man.
I do too, if they do it right.
Yeah, I don't want a fucking prequel story about Sleeping Beauty.
No,
well, I guess we kind of already got her.
We did,
in the first one,
but I think if they were gonna do an origin story, I'd like to see one on the Dark Fae. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it was just something for them to put out there as a filler. You know what I mean?
I don't know. You never know at Disney, man. They could totally just throw some fucking weird spin-off story in there.
Yeah, they do. They have the money. I mean, to them, if they take a loss, it doesn't bother them.
I mean, you never know with Disney. Like this one, they made a movie about Maleficent, and she was gone half the fucking movie. So
yeah.
they kind of just do their own fucking thing. But I don't know. It was a good movie. I really did like the creature design, though. Like, that was probably one of my favorite parts. And
that's what I was going to ask you. What did you think of the graphics behind it?
Oh, it's fucking great. I thought there was some stuff that was kind of not so hot, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty good. The creature design was on point. They should have got Del Toro.
Benicio del Toro?
No.
Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah,
okay. You got so offended by that. You were like, no.
There's two Del Toros, okay?
The real Del Toro.
The little real Del Toro.
But they should have got him in there to do some character design. But I thought the character designs were pretty cool. I like the Groot guy. I know I keep calling him the Groot guy. I don't know.
He's just a tree guy, so basically.
Not
he's
his
a Groot.
name.
Yeah.
His
fairies are kind of cliche.
Yeah.
I love the hedgehog. He was pretty
did
cool.
you like the hedgehog?
Yeah.
I did. I like the mushroom.
I liked how
the mushroom?
I liked how he said Maleficent.
The what?
How he said Maleficent. The little hedgehog guy.
Oh.
It was like Maliko or something like that. It was some weird.
Kind of like our Babu Frick in this one.
When she's about to fly in, pop in, or whatever.
No, when that part where he made it back to the castle and he sees where she flew out through the window. He's like, oh, Maliko. And I was like, oh, this dude's dope.
How do you say it?
I don't know. I had it perfect earlier because I wanted to say it and I can't think of how he said it now. It was like,
speak up a little bit.
I mean, he wasn't bad. I liked the mushroom guy.
The mushroom guy was dope.
Was pretty cool.
Fucking bit that guy's finger.
Yeah.
Still got caught.
But the graphics were cool. Like the CGI was pretty cool. I did like the CGI. Like practical effects or CGI.
It was more CGI. Yeah,
you're the special effects guy.
Well, the CGI was on point. I liked it. I liked all the different colors on it.
Yeah, it was visually it was pretty beautiful to watch, man.
It was pleasing.
Cool colors
from like the different scenes that I seen from the first one. It definitely improved. I mean, yeah, it's like 6 years after, but it was pretty beautiful. Like I just seen this movie and I was kind of invested in the world.
Yeah. It was a cool. Like they created a pretty cool world, and then the costume design was pretty on point too, man. Like I liked all the shit that Maleficent was wearing and
all like the different variants of it. Like
yeah.
She was...
I liked when she went to dinner and she had all those like
the birds,
like the bone shards of the birds. Just
and then her number one guy, he's a fucking crow. And she has a bunch of dead skulls, skulls on it.
And then they're eating bird for dinner.
I know,
the problem.
Like, ooh, bird. And she looks at him.
I was like,
what the fuck?
The cat's trying to eat him.
Well, then she turned him into like a crow bear.
I didn't understand that. Yeah,
that
like
was kind of odd too. I mean, it was kind of cool, but
I didn't get that either.
Disney loves bears, man. They love turning shit into bears. That was yeah, I don't know. That guy.
I was kind of conflicted on most of it because I couldn't. So the only like CGI characters I didn't really like was Maleficent and the big. She's supposed to be a phoenix.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the Phoenix.
Okay.
That one kind of.
I thought that.
I was thinking, I was like, is this a dragon or is this a big bird?
I think they could have done better because they did so much. They put so much more investment into all their other sub characters. It was like, all right, when she does rise from the ashes, it's gonna be this dope character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was just like when I seen the Phoenix, like when they that part kind of confused me a little bit. Like when they were telling the story about how she was related, like they kind of lost me on that, and I don't know if it was I just wasn't paying full attention or if it was actually legit confusing. Did you guys get kind of confused by that part? Like I didn't get how they knew.
I didn't get how that. Well, I guess they knew because she was the only one with those powers. So I guess that's how they knew how she was a descendant of the Phoenix. You know what I mean? But it was just kind of weird that they were like, "Oh yeah, you're the Dark Phoenix or whatever."
Was that other Phoenix just like frozen in there or something?
See, I didn't know. Was that like? And that's the thing. I thought it was going to be some kind of like art that like was like documenting their history or something. You know what I mean? And then it didn't do anything, and I was like, "Is it alive? Is there like a skeleton back there?" Like
I thought it was like frozen in there. I was like, "Why don't you just unfreeze that motherfucker?"
You see, that's the only part I didn't get. I was like, I just don't get why. Like, if you were going to explain it, I think I wanted there to be a better explanation. You know what I mean?
It just kind of confused me where they, like, the Phoenix came out of. Like, I feel like they could have
done some kind of
story without bringing in the Phoenix.
The Phoenix.
Like, that was
She didn't do anything.
It just seemed odd and
Just
it didn't
flying.
match the story.
Well, I think if they
she
would have
dove
just
down,
stuck, yeah,
saved the world.
if
That was
they would
about
have
it.
if they would have just stuck with the idea of the dragon.
Yeah, like that would have been way cooler. You're the descendant of the dragon. Like that would have made way more fucking sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I just think that they tried to make it like one happy ending. You know what I mean? They were like, "Oh, people don't want to see this evil dragon, but they'll like a bird."
I fucking want to see an evil dragon. I went to
I
watch
did
a
too. movie
movie about a villain. You know what I mean? Like,
I needed you like this again for the Joker episode.
I went. Her backstory is that she's a dragon. Like that's where I was just like, why the fuck is this Phoenix coming from? Like, it just doesn't like. Why can't she be?
I was more invested when I thought it was a dragon.
Yeah, and then she all of a sudden her powers go from being green to like red, and I was just like, this is not. I watched a show with my daughter. What's it called? The Descendants. Yeah. And the girl turns into a fucking dragon or some shit like that, and her powers are green. And I was like, you know what? This is better than the Maleficent story.
Why did I watch this movie?
Yeah, this is bullshit.
There's a lot of confusing things. I still don't know who was in the beginning. Was it one of the creatures or there's just a lot of confusion.
Guy.
I couldn't figure out
I think it was Bora.
If her sidekick turned into.
I think it was what you were saying that Call. What was the name?
No, it's not him.
I think it's him.
No, he's the good one though.
I know, but he was sticking up for them because they were killing fairies.
Oh yeah,
but he wouldn't have killed them.
You don't know that.
I do.
Do you know that guy?
Yeah, I do.
You guys
We're
go
best
way
friends.
Back. You guys go way back.
IG friends. Yeah, man. Before I had anything.
I guess it was probably Maleficent.
Maybe.
I'm assuming.
I don't know.
She just popped up and she's like,
that's not what I said right there.
That's probably
it's
the
Bora.
only evil thing that she
no,
did in
it's
this
not
movie.
Bora.
It's
Why would he just
Bora.
fly over there?
Because he was the one that wanted war.
So?
Really?
Was this person using magical powers or not?
Fuck, we didn't even know they had magical powers till the dude took a fucking 9 for Maleficent. And then they just revived him like it was Call of Duty or PUBG.
We know Maleficent had power.
But she didn't save his ass.
He did kind of like a Skywalker kind of thing.
He didn't fucking Ghost
Kylo
Force
Ren.
that shit. He got shot, and they brought him back to the Haven, and they were
did
like,
Black Panther on him.
Yeah, so what the hell? So they all had to have some kind of magic in them.
Yeah, but
So are you agreeing with me, or are you agreeing with Kyler?
no, I think it was Maleficent.
I don't think it was Maleficent.
I'm pretty
I
positive.
think we're all kind of split on this.
He wasn't even introduced into the story yet. Like, that seems odd that he would be there in the beginning. Because if you did notice it, like, let's say somebody did notice it in the beginning of the story.
Why would it be odd?
Who the hell is this guy? We haven't even introduced
That's the whole point of like a mystery in a film.
No, I don't think it was him.
I don't know. I think you're wrong.
I think you're wrong.
Oh, doesn't matter. I'm right. On that note,
you wanna start the next segment?
I'll-
Get into our ratings.
let's let Kyler get into it first. I want to hear what everyone else has to say. I always go first, and I feel like I want to argue today, so I want to go last.
Okay. All right. So my ratings on this movie, I feel like it was. Honestly, I feel like it was.
Poop shoot.
It was pretty bad. I mean, like it's a movie that
You're walking home.
that you would just put on for the kids, that you wouldn't be invested in. You know, like
They don't wanna
I would not be excited for the sequel. You know, so I think it was pretty bad. Out of what is it?
It would
A
be
scale
the
of
threequel.
one to
It would be
one
the
to
threequel,
one to
right?
10. I think it was a 3. Honestly,
Ooh, a 3. Damn.
Damn.
I just felt like the writing was bad. There was no conflict. The conflict is kind of cliche, and of course, Maleficent was not in the story at all. She wasn't evil as well, and that's why I give it a 3.
Dang. What about your rewatchability?
I would not rewatch this. I'll probably rewatch it to see who the fuck is in the who's in the beginning.
I'll tell you who it's not. Bora.
You're both wrong, so it doesn't matter.
All right.
No, I'm
You
last.
want me to go
I
again?
told you I'm last. I want to argue.
All right. I think so. You gave it 3 golden nuggets?
Yeah.
It's not even a nugget. It's a pooper.
No, I mean he could have given it a 1
It's pretty.
or a poop shoot.
It's pretty close.
All right. Oh man, I'll go with a 4.9. A 4.9 golden nugget.
4.9.
4.9.
Are you sure?
And positive. So for me, a lot of the same stuff. I feel like the story was kind of all over the place. It was a good movie, but it didn't do anything for me. I guess like you said, like I put it on for the kids, they'd love it, but there was too much. It was just all over, man, and there was too many stories. They were trying to tell too many stories. I didn't understand the whole Phoenix thing, where that came from. Maleficent didn't end up being evil again.
Again.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why. I mean, I want to see a villain be a villain. Like, I don't want you to.
We're watching Disney films then.
Yeah, right. I want the villain to be the villain. Another thing that kind of bothered me was the lack of Angelina Jolie in this movie. I don't like how they kind of backseated her. They kind of sidelined her, which sucks because she was fantastic. In the parts that she was in, she was great. And I liked Michelle Pfeiffer, but her character seemed kind of one-dimensional to me. Like, she just didn't have a lot of depth.
She just hated all the time.
Yeah, she was just a fucking hater. And then the whole story with Aurora and Philip, I feel like that started to overtake the entire movie, and I just didn't like that. Also, there's the genocide. Not cool, Disney. If we know anything from our past, genocide is bad.
Not okay.
Not cool.
I think it's bad.
So I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, so I didn't hate the movie. I just, it's not. I think they could have done a lot better.
Would you watch it
writing
again?
Yeah, I'd probably watch it again. Especially I got kids too, and my daughter loves Maleficent. She loves all the princesses and Disney stuff. So yeah, I'm sure I'd watch it again. Will I really pay attention to it and dive into it? No, I did. I can't say for sure that I did like the first one better though.
So the sequel wasn't needed.
No,
for you.
I don't think so. No.
I don't think so.
But I think it was because you wanted that darker aspect, and the first one left you with more of a dark aspect than this one.
Well, no, because she's a good guy in the end of the.
Well, she is, but I mean,
just think
she's
the
more
movie
dark in that one, and this one she's not in there enough to be dark.
Really, I thought she was darker in this one than she was in the first one. As her character progressed in the first one, she got more light side than.
In this one, she got
In this one, she was kind of bouncing back and forth, but she never just went full blown like, I'm gonna eat some babies. And
what is with you and eating babies?
I don't know. I'm just thinking I feel like that's an evil thing to do. You know, like
I don't know if that's like the first thing people think of when they're gonna be evil.
Man,
I'm gonna eat
some babies today.
I hope I get the chunky one first.
Yeah,
save the skinny one for a snack.
So for me, it'd be 4.9 on the golden nugget scale there. What do you think?
I'd give it a 5. It wasn't my
top.
Really? Out of all that?
Wow, out of all that shit you talked, you gave it a fucking 5?
Reviews?
I thought you were.
It wasn't better than the Joker.
I have nothing to say.
I gave it a 5.
I thought you gave it a way higher score than that.
So at least a
Listen
5.1.
here. I'm not giving it a 5.1 because I'm not fucking with that shit like you guys. You guys are trying to be sophisticated and shit. I'm just trying to tell you, I give it a goddamn 5.
I'm just trying to give it a good rating.
That's a good... 50-50 is a damn good rating. You gave it a 3.
I didn't like it.
I liked it. I mean,
I
liked it. I watched it the most out of everybody here, so obviously I liked it, but I think the reason I gave it a 5 is because there was a lot of aspects that I really liked, and then there was a lot of things that I disliked. Like, I didn't like Aurora. Like, she bugged me through the whole film. I thought maybe...
this is gonna sound pale.
Yeah, this is gonna sound really shallow for everybody out there, and maybe just because she wasn't like very pretty in this film. Maybe
she should not say that.
You said it earlier, so I'm gonna.
I just said she wasn't good looking. I didn't say I didn't like the movie because she wasn't good looking.
And I just think maybe that's why the character. I just think like when you think of Disney princesses, you always think of like.
Well, if you have the name Beauty in your name. You should be...
Okay, so then you're proving my point. That's my point. And then I didn't care for... Like, even the king was kind of a wuss. You know what I mean?
He was kind of an odd character.
He was just different. You know what I mean? So I think...
He just wanted peace.
Yeah. I did like her little minion, the crow.
Like a weak king.
Yeah, like he just... It was like shocking that he was the king.
I could totally take the king.
You probably would have done a lot of things to the king, but we're not going to talk about that.
Taking the king.
There's a lot of things you would have done, but we're not. We're a family podcast here, okay?
I don't think we are. All right.
We've gone past that point, but I give it a 5. The graphics were on point for me. I think they could have done better. Like we all agreed on her character as the Phoenix. It could have been a way better graphics design on that part. I think, like I said, just little things kind of bugged me throughout the film. But I'd watch it again. I definitely would. I mean, I obviously have. I'd probably watch it again. So
I thought you were gonna. I really did. I thought you were gonna give it a higher score because you wanted to argue.
I just wanted.
You literally pretty much agreed
you called
with the
me
same,
out and said
same scores. We
said that you want to argue with me.
No, like a 3 is a really low score. Like at least 5 is a 50-50 on that.
I felt 3 was pretty high.
That's 2 nuggets above.
It's a 50-50. So 30% if you do it right. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
In that aspect of it, right? I wasn't thinking. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys and be like, "Oh, it was a 9." Just like
I just thought that's where you were.
No, I wasn't. I just wanted to argue with you guys. Just to argue with you guys.
But you didn't. You agreed with us.
But I wanted to argue in the aspect that I wasn't gonna give you guys something
That's
great.
gonna be a whole new podcast that just
so
we
have a 3 point.
You actually were closer to mine.
3.
I was actually shocked
3.
that you gave a 4.9 because you complained about a lot of it. I really didn't think you were gonna go that high with it.
Well, I mean, it's not a terrible.
I liked it.
Movie. It's not a terrible movie. It just didn't.
I just couldn't say like the Joker was a dark film, and that's what I was expecting out of it. So for this film, there were certain things that it hit really well for me, and then certain things it didn't. So I give it a 50-50. I would give it a 5. I'm not gonna give it a 9. You know what I mean?
So we got a 3, a 5. What did I do?
A 4.9.
4.9.
You should have just said a 5.
I thought it was a 5.9.
I don't think it was a 5.
4.9?
So you don't think it was like 0.1. Okay.
So not a fucking chance.
Okay. Just think like if you're gonna go that close to a 5,
Dude, would you? I would gladly drop if that's what you want.
drop.
I'll give it a 4.5.
That still rounds up.
It's 50. 50-50, right?
5 goes higher. I know you were better at math than me, so you should know that.
I probably was not. Well, there you go. There's our scores. A 3, a 4.5, and a 5. So we were pretty close.
Not too bad. Yeah.
We were more with the critics, I think, than
we were with the
audience.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I think if I would have went off my first watch, I probably would have gave away a higher score. But being that I watched it so many times, I looked for different things every time that I watched it. So I'm gonna stick with my score.
I feel like I'm kind of biased because I've only seen the second one. I haven't seen the first one, so I kind of just did a recap.
About
But
to
the
get
recap,
kicked off this podcast.
the
for not
first
doing
one
homework.
looked pretty.
Cody told you
Looked
have
a lot
a
better.
week. Get it
More than
together,
enough time
man.
to
It's
prepare.
more than enough time. To prepare.
Actually, I knew about the
Shouldn't have went to
strategic
Comic
stuff.
Con. It's your fault.
Son of a bitch.
I know. Didn't even invite us.
Anyway, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. With that, I'll send you guys out with some upcoming movies that are coming out for 2020. We have the Hansel and Gretel movie that's coming out. That
I'm
looks
so
pretty
excited
cool.
about that one.
The Turning, The Kingsman, Birds of Prey,
I'm
Fantasy
excited for
Island,
that one.
Sonic the Hedgehog,
I'm gonna watch that one.
The Boy 2. I'm probably not going to watch that one.
I don't know what
The
that
first
one's
one was
about.
pretty trash.
There's a new Trolls movie coming out.
I'll probably watch Trolls. I'm not gonna lie.
Peter the Rabbit 2.
I won't watch that. I didn't like the first one.
I thought
I
they already
didn't
made a
watch
sequel
it.
to that.
One that I'm actually really looking forward to, and it's another Disney movie, but it looks good. It looks on point. I was super impressed. Is
Black
Mulan?
Widow? Oh.
No, I do not. Black Widow is coming out, but
I'm gonna watch that one too.
I'm
But
gonna
Mulan-
probably watch all the movies.
Mulan,
just
I
said.
agree. I think Mulan, but that goes back to exactly what I just said. Disney's recreating all these films again.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think
There's
it's
a
time.
market for it.
I think they're smart about it
It's a
because I
market.
know that younger adults are going to go to movies, so that's what we all watch.
Yeah.
So they're just going to remake them.
That Mulan one looks pretty good. Did you see the trailer for it?
I did.
It looks on point.
I watch a ton of movies, man.
Well, I know. That's why we have a movie podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, I cut hair and literally watch TV all day. Probably more than anybody here.
All right. So with all those scores and movies, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Not bad for some small town gallant morons. And